always happy and going great and everything's wonderful. And then when one little thing happens wrong, it's like this vortex opens, and then it just keeps, bad things keep happening and happening. And when something bad happens, I do turn around, pivot, and look at it like my daughter we were going to France, and my daughter broke her foot, and then she needed an operation. And I said, okay, we can do that before I go. I have another 10 days before I go. Her foot got infected. She couldn't have the operation. Then I got it flat, and then I had to get 4 new tires. And I figured, well, I had to get 4 new tires anyway, so it's not a big problem. I just have to do it now. And then we went to France. Oh, and then the hurricane was coming. And I said, but we got to get to Miami before it gets to Miami. And we did, and we got out of Miami and got there. And then we got to France, and then this one woman was just ordering everybody around, and I told her, you give me one more order, I'll punch your lights out. And this was an older woman, and my Brooklyn stuff came out of me, and I just, because I had enough, and I said, you got, so she stopped. And then everyone in the van was whining and moaning and groaning, who wanted to eat, who wanted to go there. I said, I'm just going to sit in the back seat, let them fight wherever they want to go, I'll go. I'm just going to, everything be pleasant. So I tried that, and I kept getting positive, and I stayed positive. And then coming back, I'm on my way home by myself because my partner had to go home earlier. And we're ready to go back to Miami, and they're telling us we're going to JFK because the hurricane is hitting Florida. So I had to end up in New York, and I said, well, I got to get home. So I said, fly me to Atlanta, and I'll get a car, and then I'll drive to Jacksonville. So I had to go to LaGuardia from JFK, and in the interim, I lost my driver's license. So here I am on a flight to Atlanta to rent a car without a driver's license, but I figured I'll BS my way and get this stupid car. So I land there, and I go up to him, and I says, I've got a problem, but I'm getting a car. She says, we have no cars. So I says, okay. I says, I could deal with this. So I figured I'll just wait for the next flight. The next flight wasn't until Monday, and this was Saturday night. I was so exhausted. I was too tired even to get to a hotel. So I slept there. And friends, when I told them all this stuff that was happening, and I kept trying to be positive and pivot and stuff, they would say, God doesn't give you more than you can take, which I don't believe, because I don't believe Source sends you negative stuff. I truly, truly don't believe that.
You do it all yourself, yes.
Yes. So I know I'm doing it myself, but I don't know why I'm doing it to myself. So tell me how I'm doing it to myself, because this is the second time it's happened. First time was when my husband passed away. Even my house got electrocuted, because I don't want this to happen anymore. I want to stay in my happy place over here. But now this vortex is finally closed. But I don't want it to
Not
open
really.
again. No, it's nothing bad's been happening. In fact, I met someone. The minute I got back from France, I met someone, and I was hoping you'd tell me something about that too. But no, so the vortex is closed. But what am I doing to make this happen to me? Because I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. I will do anything. My battery light on my car was constantly flashing at me, and I would go get it fixed, and it would flash at me. Well, the 4th time that happened, I turned around and bought a new car, like that, because I don't want stress in my life. I really will do anything not to have stress in my life, and I don't harbor on the negative. I always look to the positive. No, I really do. You know my vibration. I'm not lying. So what the heck am I doing? Really? I'm serious.
Well, our thinking is that if we just stand here quiet long enough, you will expose enough of how you're feeling and how you're thinking that it will all become as crystal clear to you as it is to everyone else.
They know.
You're using words that mean one thing while you're actually feeling another way. Because when you first sat down, you used words about how things had been harder for you, but that now you were in this bright, fluffy, shiny place. But then as you began talking, almost every story that you told had a different vibrational countenance to it. And so, knowing what we know about law of attraction, we know that you can't feel here and be attracting a whole lot of experiences that feel here. And so, we like to say to all of you that it's nice to get so good at vibing out your emotions, that you understand what your point of attraction is and what your future attraction will be. We call that pre-manifestational awareness. I'm offering a vibration on purpose, and therefore I know what I can reasonably expect based upon how I've been feeling. But what also is very effective is post-manifestational awareness, which is I can see how things are manifesting, and since I know that what I'm thinking and feeling and what's manifesting are always a vibrational match, then I can tell as things are turning out not tragic, just annoying, not end of the world things, just uncomfortable things. And so we want to say to you that you're not the exception in the universe, nor would you want to be. You're offering a vibration consistently that matches these kinds of things that are happening. Now, you're quick to point out, this is not the only thing that happens to me. Plenty of good things happen too. And we acknowledge that. We know that you've got quite a mix of vibration. So you're joyful and you attract joyful things, and you're annoyed and you attract annoying things. And you do some of all of it. In other words, your average is not stable. You don't have a stable vibration because you're offering your vibration in response to what you're seeing. When you see something good, you vibrate up here. When you see something not good, you vibrate down here. And the more you look around, in other words, there's a hurricane coming, so you vibrate here. There are no cars, so you vibrate here. I lost my driver's license, so you vibrate here. And what we are wanting you to get from this gathering, all of you, is that you have the capacity to mold the clay separate from how things are right now appearing. You are doing exactly what we say that almost everybody does. You're letting most of your vibrational offering come out of you in response to what you're observing, which means it's a roller coaster sort of ride. So what we want you to come round to, and hopefully before there's anything tragic or before you're at 40,000 feet with no parachute, because this isn't even close to that.
I did go skydiving.
But
I'm sorry.
Well, focus is really important in this moving up the emotional scale. In other words, you have to decide that you want to improve the way you feel. And you have to be aware enough of how you feel that you notice some difference in the way you feel. Now, most of the stories that you told us here had a sort of common denominator. Did you hear them? So where would you say? We're asking them because they were listening in, and they can be more objective. And they are appreciating your offering. Everyone understands how all of this works, and they're all in the same boat relative to some things. But as you were listening to this series of stories, does it feel like defeat and agony? Did it? Did it feel like appreciation and well-being? Did it feel like frustration and irritation? Did it feel like fear? Did it feel like annoyance, aggravation, overwhelmment? So you've got an emotional set point, average, that's pretty well established. And we want to compliment you. You've come a long way from the despair you felt not so long ago. So here you are in this vibration of annoyance, and you attract somebody that was so annoying you told them that you were going to punch her lights out. In other words, you were in the back of a car where people were squabbling and so uncomfortable. In other words, you're not without reason in your irritation. All of these things that happened are irritating. It was inconvenient. It's not the way you want to live your life. But what we want you to hear is you've got to say, okay, all this is going on. That's my right now action journey. That's what I've brought myself to, and these are the kinds of things that are manifesting, and that's okay because I'm on my way to improvement. And now I'm going to take an emotional journey that's different from the observation of just what's happening. I'm going to start setting my tone based upon how I want to feel. So now, with that in mind, you start reaching into those past couple of months for stories that match how you want to feel, not the story that matches how you usually felt. In other words, you reach for the best part, because from here, it's easy. From this point of irritation, you could jump right now easily into several stories that would be uplifting. So make that effort here. In other words, remember, your only work right now is an emotional journey. Doesn't have anything to do with what you're trying to make manifest. Would you like to tell us some better feeling stories?
Oh, yeah.
Then please do.
Oh, okay. Well, when I got back from France, I met someone, and I'm really excited about him, and I'm hoping that this will be the one. And We've been having some great weather, and I've been sunning again because I love to sun.
All right, now, you gave us some really specific examples of those irritating things. But these sunny, fluffy things are pretty general. Could you get more specific about the sunny, fluffy things?
The sunny, fluffy things?
Not really. Because I haven't been practicing them, so they don't roll right off my tongue. And because my vibration isn't there, law of attraction isn't helping me out with them much anyway.
Oh my God, you're right.
So I've been doing what almost everybody I know is doing. I'm offering words that sound better than I feel, but the universe, who has never been listening to my words, is responding to my vibration.
But I wake up every morning with my manifest list that Abraham, you tell us to do, and I look at it and I say, today I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to buy a new pair of pants, pair of shoes.
We know, but the universe sort of hears blah, 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 blah. Because words don't matter. The only reason that words are effective is that you can put words together in a story that generates a different emotional feeling. So you get the sense that this emotional journey is right here, right now, or in any block of time, taking myself, by telling myself stories, or by sifting through my life, by deliberately reaching for something that feels a little better than where I am. So go back to France, pick something out of
France?
that. Nothing good there?
Well, a few things good, but it was because it was supposed to be a New Age retreat with 8 women. It was supposed to be
before you go further, ask yourself where you're going. In other words, are we about to go that way on the emotional scale or that way? So put the brakes on and regroup and choose again.
Okay, I did climb wonderful mountains.
All right, now tell us about that.
Okay, climb mountains with this guy. He came the second week when Marianne left, and I hooked on to him because he was like a shaman. He was really great. So we climbed mountains, and we talked to trees, and we talked to energies, and we chied, and we did yoga on the beach. We were called crazy people, but we laughed about it. I mean, we had so much fun.
All right, now you're on to something. Now pick something more specific about that and milk it for a stronger feeling. In other words, don't let it just be an editorial where you just sort of explain in a documentary fashion what happened. Say it in a way that moves you emotionally. In other words, tell us about something that felt wonderful, and tell us why it felt wonderful and in what ways it felt wonderful.
Okay, when I first got there, the villa we were staying at had this big mountain behind it, and I just wanted to go up that mountain, but none of the ladies were up to it. And then the second week, the guy came, we went up the mountain. And I'm like, okay, I know my problem. Thank you, Abraham. Well, we climbed this mountain, and I was so happy to climb the mountain, and we weren't even dressed for it, but we got.
You are used to being historically accurate, and what we want you to be is emotionally biased. We want you to want so much to milk your life for things that feel good that you become irrationally imbalanced in your accounting. Because right now you're sort of irrationally moving that way, and
now.
We want you.
I never knew that. See, I thought I was always this positive person.
That's because you are accustomed to telling things like they are. You're accustomed to giving accounting. You have not been thinking in terms of an emotional journey. Emotional journey says, I'm going to pick some subject of attention, and I'm going to talk about it with one intention in mind. I want to feel a little better at the end of my story than I do at the beginning of my story. You want to have more regard to how something feels, which means you've got to think a little before you start talking. You have to stop a little bit and anticipate where the story is likely to take you and ask yourself if that's the place you really want to go before you start telling the story.
I want to go to the happy place.
With a little bit of effort, you can lean that way or you can lean that way. And when you know which way you're trying to lean, and you do lean that way, then it just gets easier and easier and easier and easier. And before you know it, you'll sit here or somewhere and we couldn't talk you out of your good feeling stories. And then people will start calling you Pollyanna. They'll start saying to you, oh, you always see the good things. You're not a realist. You don't see what's going on. And then we will know we have triumphed. Then we will know